So I want to talk to you about the disappearance of Levi Davis. Now, Levi Davis was the rugby player and also had been in Celebrity X Factor in the group called TriStar with other rugby players and had come fifth. So he was quite well known at the time that he disappeared to the British public. Yet it seems at some stage during the investigation to find him, everybody shut down and didn't want to talk about this anymore. And that may be due to certain revelations that have come up during the case. Now, shortly before Levi went missing, he went to stay with someone he called a friend, whose name was Richard Squire, who was well known in the entertainment industry. That's kind of what his job is. And other people in Levi's life, such as his mum and his friends, were really surprised to hear that that's who he was staying with after Levi went missing. They heard the name because they had never heard of anyone called Richard Squire and wasn't aware that Levi had any friends called this. Now, Levi stayed in Ibiza for about a period of 12 days, and while he was there seemed to be no real cause for concern. He had posed for some photos on the beach for his upcoming song that was due to be released in November of 2022. He had done some beach shots, and while the photographer was there with Levi, he said Levi was really in good spirits, writing song lyrics and seemed really happy. Now, we only have Richard Squire's word for this, but he says on the day of October the 29th, Levi had told him that he had met a man on Grindr, the gay dating app, and he wanted to be dropped off at a local restaurant. And Richard Squire says he did this, but Levi was never seen again by him. Nobody has actually come forward, even the police, to say yes, he did have Grindr on his phone, or yes, there's some kind of phone communication between Levi and somebody else. But his phone has never been recovered, so it could be that's stopping them being able to look fully through his footprint online. So, at number 1 on this map of Levi's movements, he was staying with a friend in Ibiza, number 1. Number 2, on the 29th of October 2022, he got on the 10 a.m. ferry to Barcelona. Number 3, Levi arrives in Barcelona at 7 p.m. on the same day. 4, he was captured on CCTV leaving the old Irish pub in Barcelona at around 10 p.m. Now, Levi, it later come out, someone matching Levi's description, the Spanish police said, was seen in the water 3 kilometres from shore, despite the fact that Levi was not a very good swimmer, at around 6:30 in the morning on the day after the 29th, on the 30th of October. His passport was then discovered in that same port on November the 19th. I'm going to be careful with my words here, but I'm going to say this in the way I know how to, basically. Now, Spanish police say that there was a body seen floating, shouting help, in the water between several ships 3 kilometres out from where Levi was last seen. Now, they say that they think it was Levi because Levi was last seen on CCTV wearing a white t-shirt, and the person in the water had a light coloured shirt on. So they just said, oh, it matches his description. But to me, that doesn't tell you a lot. They didn't say there was a black male in the water. They didn't say there was a man with dreadlocks in the water. They didn't say, there's quite a large guy in there. They just said it matches Levi because both people had on a white t-shirt. And to me, that just isn't enough of a description. Now, this picture is of Levi when he was actually at the X Factor, Celebrity X Factor, and this is one of the last videos that Levi actually sent his mum on the day he went missing. It was him on the ferry from Ibiza to Barcelona, and he was just saying to his mum, look at the view here, mum, it's lush here. He later sent his mum another video of a band playing in the old Irish pub where he was watching a football game or having a pint of lager. This is the last CCTV image of Levi leaving the old Irish pub around 10 p.m. on the day that he went missing. Now, all of that seems bizarre enough, but what makes this case even more baffling is 4 days before Levi disappeared, he posted a 15-minute video to his own Instagram. This video is harrowing to watch, and the whole thing can be found on YouTube if you want to see it yourself. Now, in the video, Levi pleads for help. He says to his family, his friends, to everyone he's met through sport, that he has been drugged and raped through some people he met through the music industry while he was working on Celebrity X Factor. He says these people have threatened his family's life, they've threatened his life, they followed him in London, they followed him to Australia when he went there to have a small stint in rugby, and now he is terrified for his life. Levi did actually go and see the Met Police sometime before he went to Ibiza with his mother, where he told the Met Police he had been drugged and raped in Ealing and he was terrified for his life. When the police pushed him for details, such as who had done it to him, Levi said he wasn't ready to make the statement and left the station. Now, when Levi was first reported missing, he was all over the news and people were obsessed with this case and trying to understand what could have happened. However, a couple of weeks later, when a private investigator working on the case managed to get back that video that had been deleted off Instagram and made it public so everybody knew what was going on, everybody kind of shut down and Levi's case kind of faded into the background. All of a sudden, Spanish police were saying, oh no, we saw this body in the water that we assumed was Levi because of the matching white t-shirt. And Spanish police decided in October of 2023 to suspend the case, saying there was nothing else left to do. We still haven't heard whether they fingerprinted his passport. You know, Levi left that day from Ibiza very quickly to go to Barcelona. He didn't even take his prized beloved laptop, which he took everywhere with him. He didn't take his suitcase. All he took was a small black bag and his passport. I can't help but think if Levi was a white Premier League football player, everybody would care. Levi's family is still desperate to find out what happened to their son. If I was his mother, it would not be enough for me to be told, well, he drowned because we saw a man in a white t-shirt. There are so many other descriptive factors, if one had seen Levi, that they would use rather than he just had on a white t-shirt. If I had someone in my garden stealing my garden gnomes and I looked out, I wouldn't put on Facebook, I've seen a man in a blue t-shirt. I would be like a tall guy, ginger hair, whatever. You would make some descriptors. And here they just haven't done that. It seems like that lead was made up after the fact in order to shut this down. Since Levi's been missing, apart from the flurry of activity at the beginning, he seems to be relatively forgotten about. No one's really talking about it. Now, not many missing person cases have this level of odd activity happening before someone goes missing, and normally everyone would be talking about this case. For some reason, there's some kind of fear around this case, even by the people that know Levi. They just don't want to talk anymore about it. It could be that the claims that Levi made in the Instagram video are 100% true and people are scared. It could be that, you know, certain rumours that have come up through the private detectives, such as he owed money to the Somalian mafia, may be true. But the one thing that remains the truth in all of this is Levi is still missing and still has a family who very much want to know what happened to him and where he could be. If you have any information at all, now bear in mind that Levi could be in Ibiza, he could still be in Barcelona, he could very much be alive and on the run. He was very paranoid at the time he went missing and he was scared. Whether that was for real reasons or something mentally health related, he was definitely scared. So if you have any information at all, please get in touch with the Metropolitan Police so they can try and solve this case for his mum.